On YouTube, it's Paul Piper back here, and tonight we're going to be doing a review of another dry snuff. This time it's going to be Tuberose Scotch Snuff. So check out my other videos. I've done some reviews on the history of dry snuff, some of the Garrett brands, so check out those videos. Tuberose is probably something that you don't see everywhere. It was at one time very popular in the United States and in Europe, but dry snuff as a whole has kind of diminished in popularity over the years to where now you'll probably only see the Garrett stuff in the stores. And even then, how many units are they selling? I can't say. Probably not that much. But let's go ahead and check out the presentation. We've got Tuberose, and then a picture of a flower, presumably a rose, Scotch snuff, and it says net weight 1.15 ounces, 32.6 grams, and got the warning label, of course, smokeless tobacco is addictive. On the side here, we've got manufactured by American Snuff Company, Memphis, Tennessee, 44% U.S. tobacco, 56% foreign tobacco. Like loose leaf chewing tobacco, dry snuff is predominantly foreign leaf. The only snuff or dip or smokeless tobacco that you're going to find that's 100% American is going to be your wet snuff, like Copenhagen, Skoal, Stoker's. Those are all 100% domestic leaf. Grizzly is typically 90% domestic and 10% foreign. So if that's important to you in your choice of smokeless tobacco product, then you're probably going to want to stick with dip. If you don't really care, dry snuff or loose leaf chewing tobacco like Redman or Levi Garrett or Beech Nut, whatever. So let's go ahead and try to get this thing cracked open. It's a little bit more difficult. It's not like opening a dip can. I had to score it with a knife. So we'll see if we can get this cut here. Get it open. Oh, I think we're going to have success. All right. I just spilled a bunch. No matter. As you can see here, dry snuff is very, very finely ground into a powder. Very, very fine. And you can take it one of two ways. You can either snort it, which is the preferred way of colonial aristocracy. Very popular back in the 17th and 18th centuries in Europe and the United States. People would take snuff and, shoot it up their nostrils. And it has also got a following of people who take a pinch and put it in their lip, just like you do wet snuff, Copenhagen, Skoal, that sort of thing. So we'll go ahead and try it both ways here. I've never liked dry snuff taking orally. Never liked to dip it. It's kind of hard to keep contained, and it draws all the moisture out of your lip and your mouth, and just kind of creates a really weird situation. So, all right, when you're taking snuff, you take it a number of ways. Some people, put a little bit here in their hand. They used to call that your snuff box. So they'll put a little bit there and go like that, or you can just take a pinch, go like that. So typically, I just take a pinch. and that's it. You're not really inhaling it really deeply. The whole purpose is not to take it all the way up into your sinuses. You basically just want to get it up into the nostrils, very light inhaling, and just let it sit there. And the American stuff like tuberose and Garrett and those types, Scotch snuff, sweet snuff, they're all very similar. The British Wilsons of Sharrow, that stuff for the silver dollar, that stuff's really good. The English stuff is really good. So if you can get your hands on that, you want to try to get that. So this stuff, you don't have to take much, and people that use it nasally, they might do it again in another 20 minutes or so. As you can see, that's a lot. That's a lot to be doing nasally. I can't imagine that. But if you read famous people in history who did snuff, and many of the colonial, greats were snuff users, whether they be writers or philosophers, intellectuals in Europe and the United States. Chances are they were snuff users. It was so popular. So they used a lot. They used a ton of this stuff. I mean, they used to sell. You think this is a large quantity? This stuff came in big containers. I mean, that's how it was sold in the stores. You just imagine that. And if you were taking that nasally, I can't imagine doing it that often. I mean, I think you'd probably have to take bigger pinches and do it more frequently than every 20 minutes or whatever. So, all right. Now, nasally, it gives you a nice little pickup. I didn't take enough to really, and it didn't make a mess. So it's going to give you that little bit of a pickup. You're not really going to have any noticeable signs that you're consuming tobacco. So all in all, it's not that bad. Now, as far as health goes, this is, by all accounts, you can do your own research on this. By all accounts, this is the safest method to take tobacco. Believe it or not, But if you read up on a lot of the studies, this is the safest method of consumption. So, all right, now we're going to go ahead and try and dip this stuff. Again, it's very difficult to grab or do anything, as you can see. And you put your fingers in there and it just coats them. So let's go ahead and try and get some of this stuff. I'm gonna feel like just taking a swig of this. That's what I'm gonna do. It's a very invasive, awkward type of chewing tobacco. Now, as far as flavor goes, when you dip it, it almost tastes like ripe coffee beans that are ground up. Maybe that's not the best description, but if you took coffee beans and ground them super fine into a dust, I think that would be fairly similar to what this tastes like. It's not a bad flavor, but it's almost impossible. I mean, unless you're going to take a spoon and spoon out and dump in your mouth, it's pretty much dust. So, not my preferred type of smokeless tobacco to take orally. But taking it nasally, it's not bad. You know, it's kind of refreshing, actually. Now, how Tuberose compares to some of the others, I think it's very similar to Garrett Scotch Snuff. It might be a little bit milder. Might be a little bit milder than that. So, as far as Scotch Snuffs go, I'd probably say that of the ones that I've had, this is probably one of the mildest. I would definitely say that it's probably the mildest. But yeah, you can't even grab this stuff. You just stick to your fingers. You know what I think a better description would be is tea. If you ground tea super fine, that's it. That's absolutely it. Not coffee, because it's not bitter enough. It's got a little bit of a sweetness to it. Tea. If you ground tea up super fine, that's the flavor. That's the flavor you're going to get. But dipping it, not the way to go. Not the way to go at all. You know, this stuff is a mess. It's a mess. It's going to make your teeth. I don't want to show you my teeth, because it just becomes mud almost in there. I mean, I've got a little bit in my front lip. Now, the positives is it doesn't burn at all. You know, it's very mild compared to, you know, some of your wet snuffs, some of your dips, like, you know, wintergreen. That stuff can wear your gums down, and this stuff is very mild, very mild. But yeah, give it a try. Like I said, we'll go ahead and take another one here. Why not? and pick up some tuberose or any dry snuff that you can find in your community. Give it a try. This stuff it's part of American history and the history of the West. So very, very popular was snuff back in the day, and help you connect with your roots. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Check out those other snuff videos, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. For those of you who have, I really appreciate it. And until next time, if the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise, I'll see you. Take care.